El Dr. Liao, Chair Professor of the National Taiwan Ocean University, National Pingtung University of Science and Technology, Taiwan, presentará the Taiwanese experience in aquaculture development.
Thank you. This is my great pleasure have such a chance. I need to thank you for the organizer, especially Professor Victor and Jesse. Ladies and gentlemen, my topics is the Taiwanese experiments in aquaculture development. Outline is a history of aquaculture in Taiwan, stage of aquaculture development, and opportunity and weakness summary. Make a comparison with Chile. Taiwan's aquaculture production figure is 330,000 tons, and Chile is 870,000 metric tons. So almost 2.5 to 3 times. And in terms of the value is also about 3 times of Taiwan's. The Taiwanese aquaculture have a long history, 350 years. And Taiwan possessed a good condition and skillful farmer for aquaculture development. In the 1930, annual production already reached 20,000 metric tons. Among top 10 aquaculture countries in 1980 and early 1990 is among the top 10. But now Chile is instead of the Taiwan. Chile is one of the top 10 countries. And talking about the traditional stage, 350 years ago, our traditional milkfish culture, like this one, and establishment of official research station is, I show you. We started from 1913, and recently is 1945, established Taiwan Fishery Research Institute. This is the brief history. And the prosperous stage, grass carp, you know the grass carp, silver carp, we succeed for the artificial propagation in 1963. And then grass plant, marlet, and also I want to mention the founding member country of the Asian Fishery Society. This is the very biggest society of the Asian area. And this one show you some history of the Asian Fishery Forum. And first of all, I want to introduce in 1963, I just mentioned grass carp, we succeeded for the artificial propagation. And that funded the freshwater fishes. And 1968, breakthrough of the artificial lava rearing of the grass plant, Penis monodon. And this one, in 1980s, it's a huge area contributed to the grass plant culture. And this is the main factor of the success of grass plant industry. Why we success in that time? I want to mention especially response to researchers' works. This is very important. We are respected by the people and also government, and also hard work of farmers in private sector. This is also important, okay? And training course on aquaculture for international scientists also. We have lots of many classes. And 1969, we successful the laboratorium for the gray mullet, Mugilcephalus. Okay, and then this one, gray mullet. And this one is another story for the 1977. We break through on the artificial propagation of milkfish, Charla. Milkfish, the name of the fish, milkfish, like milk, silver color, is very good fish in our Southeast Asian area. Okay, this one, like this one is a milkfish. Okay, and this one is another item for success, the commercial production of various formulated feed. Okay, transition stage, we met several setbacks, land subside, groundwater salinization, and disease outbreak. This is a setback. And another outreach stage, evaluation of aquaculture strategy, integration of related science, and international linkage is very important, and diversification of culture species and technology. Yeah, this one is to show you the some international linkage. We have the many linkage with the country, Australia, Czech, France, Norway, South Africa. I think this time I come here, I think so many contact with Chilean people. I also I want to make a good cooperation with Chile, and active participation in the international events. Asian Fisheries Society now changed the name, Asian Fisheries and Aquaculture Society. Just recently become this new name, World Aquaculture Society, World Fishery Congress, and many. Okay, and further diversification, integration with more related science, adoption of modern automation device, breakthrough of mass fry production in more new species. I just show you so many level-saving automation system. Okay, this one show you the technology transfer and capital outflow from Taiwan. Taiwan is compared with Chile is 1/10, very small, tiny country, but we are very active in the aquaculture. Also, this one is the interaction with foreign scientists, many. Okay, now I'm talking about some diversified shellfish species for aquaculture. The first one I want to mention the Pacific oyster. Okay, next one, this is a small abalone, yeah, Haliotes. Taiwan, the annual production is 3,000 tons. I just checked from Chile is just less than 300 tons at this moment, I think, okay? And this is another spotted baby long, okay? Okay, now is transfer to fish species. You know, tilapia, hybrid tilapia culture in Taiwan is very prosperous, is one of the top 10. And the second, red ram. This is introduced from Texas. Okay, next one. This eel. Eel culture is very prosperous in Taiwan. I show you some figure. This one. The maximum here is almost 55,000 tons. Is very And recently it's become the stagnant stage, 1906, yeah. But like this one, they are production figure. Okay, this one is another item, cobia. I don't know, that's not so familiar in the Chile country, I think, but in Florida, many countries is already adapted the to culture, started the culture the cobia. Okay, I show you another, yeah, like this one. It's a very, 1 year become the 6 kilo. It's very, grows very fast. It's a good fish. I like it, okay. This is another yellow tuna, yellowfin tuna. We also already started. Okay, this one is juveniles collected by long line and very carefully handled, stocked in an offshore cage. And this one show you 2 years they become the 20 kilo. Is another very good species. Okay, this one is other rising star of the aquaculture, emperor snapper, coral trout. Sturgeon, we also started the culture of the sturgeon, very prosperous. And this is another item. Okay, also we not only have food fish, also the standard living is up. So we encourage the people to start the culture of the ornamental fish is also exported a lot. Singapore is the best country in the Asian area, but Taiwan is also very actively to produce the ornamental fish. Okay, this one is ornamental. Okay, yeah. Now I'm talking about the opportunity. Taiwanese aquaculture industry is known for diversification feature. I just mentioned so many species, 125 and 150 species. Okay, in Taiwan, to properly use the facility to make polyculture and crop rotation possible, to provide the alternative commodity to the market, enlarge existing or to develop a new market, to avoid overproduction of certain species, reduce risk of disease outbreak, provide incentive to fish farmer of young generation. I think the aquaculture, like the horticulture, every day you give them the, even give them the prawn. I think nobody want every day to eat only eat the prawn. I think they want to diversify. So this is the, I make some comparison. In contrast, particularly is limited within 40 species in Japan. And in Chile, from the FAO statistics, 18 major species. Norway, 11 species. This is the, because I come here, I checked some statistics. Okay. Okay, 2. Under the government policy, I think we have the many regulations, HACCP, GMP, ISO, and effort to keep pace with international research in developing cage culture of cobia, grouper, and tuna. This is one opportunity. The third opportunity is biotechnology. I want to mention the WSSV non-structural protein ICP-11 is recently discovered DNA mimic protein as a nucleus enhancer. It is also found that at high temperature over 32 centigrade, WSSV's replication is suppressed. So this one is also very useful method to overcome the viral disease. Okay, I'm talking about the, oh yeah, sorry, not the 150, 125 species generally, okay, in Taiwan recently, okay? And then this one is the top 10 species. Tilapia, I just mentioned tilapia is 81,000 tons in Taiwan, small tiny island country, but we produce a lot of. Second is hard clam, and then salt, milkfish. Milkfish is very important, almost 50,000 tons. And another, here I want to, shrimp, white shrimp is 10,000, and the giant freshwater prawn about 10,000. This is some species, okay. And talking about the weakness, Taiwan's aquaculture industry is mainly family-based business with less modern high-tech company. All is private sector. Insufficient development of new ingredient to substitute fish meal in formulated feed. This one, you know, the fish meal is very expensive year by year, so I think this is also very important item. Too much budget went to research of molecular biology and biotechnology. I don't know that in Chile, so many, in another country, many countries, lots of the money is go to the molecular study. I think that this is not whole traditional farmer is not so happy. Okay, very important, but I think the too much money to pay on the molecular. Okay, another weakness: environmental friendly ecology, high survival breeding, and the traditional biological research do not receive the equal attention. I just mentioned. Breeding program based on genetic breeding are inadequate. So compare with the the livestock, I think no any is nature, all is improved by genetic. But regarding the aquaculture, only tilapia, some salmon, some very few species is manipulated by genetic breeding. So I think this one we need to pay attention. Okay. Okay. Summary. Taiwan has made many breakthroughs in aquaculture development and is well recognized in the world in past time. Optimal climate, suitable water, soil, abundant natural resources, established and accumulated technology, ambitious and flexible aqua farmer, diligent scientists in various research fields. Diligent scientists is also, I want to mention here. Okay, this is showing the make a fishery and aquaculture make a ratio. In Taiwan is this figure. Oh, sorry. Back to, okay. Okay. And another, I show you the next one. Oh, this is talking about the, despite the setback, new technology are now being implemented in many ways to revive the Taiwanese aquaculture. So many use the super intensive aquaculture system, many scientific approach. Okay, this one, aquaculture will definitely remain to be one of the important source of animal protein. Nobody denied. This is very important, which can sustain nutritional demand for the increasing population. It is clear, shown by the continuous increasing trend in the world aquaculture production. I show you this one. Yeah, this one is a world aquaculture and capture fisheries ratio. And recently is already 209 is very nearly to the 50. And a very new near future is surpassed to the 50%. 50. Okay, and regarding the shrimp, already come from the aquaculture is already over the capture fisheries, shrimp. Okay, and this one is a collaborative work and responsible project are further needed in terms of research, know-how transfer, and publication. Emphasis should be given to the following: R&D on disease control, R&D on fish nutrition, and so on. This is the okay. And up to now, we publication the many internationally guidebook and textbook. Okay, and this one shows you that just recent 2007 published the Korea aquaculture, and then this one aquaculture of grouper, and this one milkfish. Milkfish is not so familiar in this area, but I think that in Southeast Asia is very important. Milkfish. The name is very amazing. Milkfish. Okay, and I want to show you that just before I come to here, I just received the published from the Journal of the Ocean Technology, Korea Aquaculture. This is written by me and my wife, Korea Aquaculture. Okay, and summary 6. Lastly, it is hope that the past and the present experience to Taiwanese aquaculture may serve as the lesson for other countries where the aquaculture industry is rapidly expanding or at its peak. The key purpose is to lead to progress of sustainable aquaculture in both Eastern and Western Hemisphere. I think for the sustaining aquaculture is very important. Okay, next one. Not so hungry, but you are cordially invited to such a cuisine. Okay, next one. Okay, oh, fantastic. Okay, okay. Yeah, I want to lastly I want to acknowledge Professor Victor invited me, and Li Zhaoxin, Professor Li, he introduced me. Yeah, he introduced a lot for Chile is how good, how nice. Yes, great country. I come here. Yes, and the University Conception is also, thank you for invited me. Also, Census of Marine Life, several times I know this one, and Alfred Solon Foundation, Vice President is here. Okay, next one. The ocean is the hope for tomorrow. Yes, thank you.
Coming to the point of sustainability, well, I know that traditionally the Asian and also the Taiwanese apiculture was mainly based on herbivore species. Now I saw that in your presentation there are several carnivore species that are obviously an important part of agriculture nowadays. My question would be, how big is the fraction of carnivore species towards herbivore species in Taiwanese agriculture, and what is the trend? Is there a shift towards carnivore species, or is it maintaining a same proportion?
You're talking about the herbivorous species and the carnivorous species?
Yes.
Like the Chinese carp, grass carp, and silver carp, all of this is belong the herbivorous. Like the tilapia is omnivorous, and the carnivorous is sea bream and cobia and tuna fish is also belong the carnivorous.
Do you have a
Yes.
number of the fraction, a number percentage of production of carnivores?
Or you mean the how percentage of this one? I think that in this time, up to now, I think nobody so pay attention on the herbivorous. But I think the fish meal is expensive year by year. I think there must be pay attention on the how to culture the more species of the herbivorous, and also omnivorous is carnivorous is very expensive. That is reason. Okay, is enough for you? Okay, later.
Yes, hi, Martin Thiel here. Thank you for your presentation. My question is whether the emphasis in culturing the species is on native species or whether you're also culturing some species from other areas in Taiwan.
Yes, in the initial stages, or pay attention on the native species, but I just mentioned aquaculture is like the horticulture. Every meal you give them the even good one, for instance, for shrimp. But every meal you give supply him the shrimp. I think not so good. They need to variety. So in that, for the variation, we started for the introduce some like the red rum from the Texas and other what the people like it. We introduced those species to culture. Is it okay?
Well, and then maybe the next question immediately would be, what do you do to prevent that those species escape into the native habitats?
Yeah, this is very good questions. We need to pay very carefully. So our government is restricted, not so let the private company, private sector to import by themselves. We need to, through the institution, government institute, to check those species after the introduced is no harm to the ecosystem, and then to give them the people to start the culture. So in this by the regulation, is okay? Need to through the very restricted regulation system.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Last question there. Last question.
Okay, it's related to the question of Professor Thiel. Have you noticed a negative impact in your environment because of some of these species escaping from the cages or anything like that? And are you working with baselines of native species and ecosystems so you know that there is no negative impact?
I could not completely to understand what you mean. You mean the native species?
If native species, I mean, if you have foreign species that you are aquaculturing there, have you noticed a negative impact in your environment from these foreign species?
Oh, yes. We have the very bad experience. Sometimes the people, even the government people, is done the not right thing. to introduce not the right species and make a very harmful to the ecosystem. For instance, snail, one species from the South America. I don't know, not the Chile. From the okay, those snail make a very big damage to the rice field. So that is. After that is government is make a very restricted regulation to stop the not happen to another. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much, Dr. Liao.
Yeah. Thank you.